Hello and welcome to the next video in my series where I preview the 2016 NASCAR Sprint Cup season. On this slide here you see the Chip Ganassi pairing of Jamie McMurray and Kyle Larson. For the last 2 years they've been together and they've been kind of average. They compete in some races but not all of them. Kyle Larson had a couple glimpses of what we are waiting for, which is his elite talent. Jamie McMurray has a knack for winning the big races, as his 7 Cup races, the majority of them have either been at night or the Brickyard 400 or, big races, big money races when Jamie McMurray comes to play with his McDonald's sponsorship. As you can tell, he has experience. He's gotten around. He started at Ganassi, went to Roush, then went back to Ganassi. He has 7 wins in the Cup Series, 8 in the Xfinity Series, and 1 truck win. He has never finished in the top 10 in points, however, so this is a thing. His consistency has always been a problem. He did win 3 or 4 races a couple seasons ago, but did not finish better than 11th in points. So, for the last 12 years, he hasn't finished better than 11th. Kyle Larson, on the other hand, has a lot of potential. He is considered one of the better young drivers in the series. He has been in the series for a couple of years now and really hasn't put it together to get a win yet. He has a couple runner-up finishes, a couple thirds, and I do expect him to also have great races in this season. I think also this year is the year where he may get his first win. He knocks on the door so many times, eventually he's going to get one. He did finish 17th in points 2 years ago. This year he finished around the same area. He has to get over that hump. Ganassi has to get over that hump as a team as well because, they are mediocre. The equipment is above average and the driving is above average on a Jamie Mack. And then Kyle Larson, who knows what he could truly be capable of in good equipment. So if Ganassi can get it together and give Larson a shot at a, say, California Auto Club or Las Vegas or Pocono he races very well at, if he can get good equipment at one of those races, you could see Kyle Larson with a win and get into the chase. And with that, I think Ganassi is one of the, upper above average teams. I think they can compete for wins. I think they can compete for top 10s. Every couple weeks, I think that if they hit on it, they hit on it. If they don't, they don't. And that's kind of how it's going to be for the next few videos here with these teams. There's not many teams that can really hit on it every race where it's just like they're always up front, and these guys haven't quite got there yet. In the second half of this video, I will also preview the Richard Petty Motorsports pairing of Eric Almirola and Brian Scott. Eric Almirola made the chase 2 years ago with a win at the Coke 0400 in Daytona, and I believe personally that he is a risk at any restrictor plate track to win a race at this point. So, he can make the chase again with a similar win, which honestly was one of the coolest things in the sport. Seeing a driver of the 43 in victory lane is quite a rarity and quite a treat. As you can see here, he has had limited success in Xfinity and trucks. He's been around for a while. He drove for DEI back in the day. I remember him filling in for Dale Jr. when he was still in the 8 car. And as you can tell, that was years ago, 10 years ago. And you can see here he finished 4th in 2011 in Xfinity. He finished 2nd in the Truck Series in 2010 as he was coming up the ranks. He is, a risk at any of these restrictor plate tracks, as I said. And everywhere else, I think he's just kind of average, middling around. They did have a string last season where they did put together some nice finishes and finished around the top 20 in points, which is very solid. Now, in Brian Scott's case, it is his rookie season in Cup. Although he has had 17 starts, none of them were for points. They were all fill-in. As you can also see, it is the 44, which is being brought back. The number 9 has changed to the number 44 for Richard Petty Motorsports. Now, in Scott's case, he comes along with sponsorship, not from Valvoline necessarily as the picture shows, but Albertsons, which is family owned, and he's kind of getting a ride because he has the money and he brings the sponsorship with him. As I said in a previous video, this happens a lot in NASCAR where you see a driver not necessarily deserving getting there. He is a top 10 driver in the Xfinity Series the last couple of years. As you can see, he finished 4th place a couple of years ago, but he had no wins, and that's the big deal. I think if you can't win a race in Xfinity, how can you win a race in Cup? How can you really acknowledge that decision and be like, hey, this is a good decision. This guy has never won a race in Xfinity. And that's why I don't think he really, is quite ready for a Cup ride. He has a couple wins in trucks, but other than that, he really hasn't put it together yet. And it's a thing. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna finish 4th out of the rookies, and I believe that he'd be lucky to get, a top 10 this season. He did have decent races in the Circle Sports equipment, which leads me to believe there is a possibility that he maybe he'll get 1 or 2 top 10s. But other than that, I really can't see him competing for any wins. In Almirola's case, I think he could compete for wins, and I do think he's going to string together some top 10s. And who knows? He may be on that line where, oh, I don't have a win, but I'm close to making the chase. Or he may sneak in with a win and get into the chase. So it'll be interesting to see in his case. And that will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, you will receive daily content and know when I upload. So that is probably the best way to go. I will be uploading NASCAR content almost daily. Thank you for watching.